Akhiyon se goli mare, Shehar ki ladki. I mean, we have grown up grooving to those dance moves. Even now, if we played at a party, like you just said, you will just end up dancing. And how?
जहाँ तक के मेरे रोल के बारे में है, प्रशांत ने जिस तरीके से पूरा सेट किया है रोल, आई एम होपिंग के वी विल लिव अप टू द एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं. आई नेवर गेव ऑडिशंस, आई नेवर वांटेड टू गेट इनटू द फिल्म इंडस्ट्री. आई केप्ट गेटिंग ऑफर्स. आई वाज एक्चुअली वर्किंग एज एन असिस्टेंट विद प्रहलाद कक्कड़ for an advertising agency, and I kept getting offers, and eventually one day I just said yes, and the next day I was shooting for Patthar Ke Phool without any training.
Hi guys, this is Mini Divan and you're watching Bollywood Live and India.com, and today we have with us someone who we all have loved on our screen since decades now. There have been so many instances where we have not just loved her craft, but her moves, her grooves, everything. None other than Raveena Tandon. Hi Raveena ma'am, how are you?
Thank you. What a great introduction. Such a peppy and such a sweet one. Thank you.
I know, comes from the heart. But so good to see you finally. I've been waiting for this since a long time, and it's so good to see you, and it's so good to see you every time whenever we come across you. And on that note, 2022 is already on a roll. How's your new year going so far?
Well, so far it's been great. It started with actually just the last month of the last year, and it has become even better and better and better since this new year has come in. So 9th December changed a lot of things for me, and it's just been good so far, and compliments have been coming in freely flowing, and it really makes things even better. So yes, it's good.
But that's great, because again, as you mentioned, compliments have been pouring in. Congratulations on the huge success of Aranyak, and I mean, your first ever stint on OTT, and it's doing wonders. Did you imagine this kind of response when you started? And B, what is it with whenever you start somewhere, or whenever you kickstart or head start any department, so be it, you always kick it with a bang, be it movies and now OTT. There's always a magic when Raveena Tandon is on screens.
I'm so thankful to you for saying this, but honestly, I think since my second film, I learned a very important lesson in my life, that never over expect anything. So hence from then on, even if you read my interviews right from the 90s, I've always been saying that I never expect anything out of anything or anybody. And if it comes to you, then it comes as a pleasant surprise. Honestly, when Aranyak started, that was exactly my thing. I never over expect out of anything. But yes, I did not expect so much. I mean, the kind of compliments that I've been getting, I mean, people like Faye and Kaveri Bamzai and hardcore critics as well, who never like anything. Ones who know, कि जब उन लोग बुराई करेंगे, मतलब ये commercial success तो 100% है. India Today poll was there, which said that it's the best debut anyone could have asked for, and it placed me number one in all the OTT platforms so far. So these things are really big for me, and I'm very, very grateful. So yes, all this I did not expect, for sure. I did not expect all this.
But in that case, since it has received such kind of magnum response, can we already expect another season?
Now, see, I cannot promise you that, because I'm just the actor in the series. It's not something that I have created, so I can't vouch for that. But like everyone else, I'm hoping for a season 2, because even for me as a character, there were so many unanswered questions in Kasturi's life that needs to be complete. So yes, hopefully, keep my fingers crossed at least. I'm hoping for the best.
It's lovely to see you on screens. And when I asked all your fans, and when I took a social media poll, if you have any questions for Raveena ji, please send in. I am soon going to interview her. Majority of the questions, and I'm not even kidding, were, why don't we see more of her? Why don't we see more of the, it's been ages, wo jo Raveena Tandon wala magic hai, jo flavor aata hai screens pe, that aura, we miss her so much. Why don't we see so much of her in mainstream commercial, for that matter?
Well, honestly, I think it was my conscious decision to do lesser work and do only quality work rather than quantity work. And so if you've seen me sign one film, KGF, after so long, only after doing Matra, which Matra is on Amazon, please do watch it. It's one of my favorites as well. And then before that, also doing a film where I can do at my pace. I do at my comfort level. I prefer that you do one thing after a while, but then do it really well, rather than doing so much of quantity that it kind of dilutes the entire situation, and if it's not up to the mark. So yes, I hope I get offered much more quality work, तो quality का quantity थोड़ा increase किया जाए. But yes, I've been reading scripts also. Up till now, I'd only liked KGF, I'd only liked Aranyak good enough to do it. But I'm looking forward to definitely doing much more work now. अभी बच्चे भी बड़े हो गए हैं, they don't need me as much as what they used to, so they're also busy with their thing. So it gives me more freedom, more time to do, because like Kasturi Dogra, I also face the dilemma of being emotionally and physically present for my family, for my children, and plus trying to give it best at my work.
I think it's a good news for all your fans, including me, if we get to see more of you and more often. Having said that, you yourself mentioned we are super excited for KGF. I mean, trailer mein aura, again, I'm using this word thrice, but there is an aura when it comes, to your screen presence per se. And KGF 2 में भी जितना हमें दिख रहा है ट्रेलर में, वो it's very prominent, it's very strong. So what can we expect from your character in KGF 2?
First and foremost, I have to mention that it has been such a pleasure working in KGF 2 with Yash and Prashant, and they are such encouraging, beautiful, generous young men. They've only been encouraging throughout. Every time when I meet Prashant or I meet Yash, the only thing they keep telling me is that, "Ma'am, you've killed it. You're so good, and you've done such a great job." And they've been so encouraging because I did a movie after so long, and so it was really a great experience. I think one of my best experiences working with these two gentlemen, and I'm hoping for the best for them for KGF 2 from the bottom of my heart. और मैं ये जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि जहाँ तक के मेरे रोल के बारे में है, प्रशांत ने जिस तरीके से पूरा सेट किया है रोल, आई एम होपिंग कि वी विल लिव अप टू द एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं. एंड मेहनत की है और जरूर एक कोशिश की है, एंड आई होप लोगों को अच्छा लगे. बस वही प्रार्थना करते हैं. उसके आगे I don't know what I can really say more about it.
But having said that, since you have been working in South Indian cinema as well, and I think it's your 8th, 9th movie per se, and you have been working and ruling Bollywood since decades now. So do you feel...
भैया तुम्हारी जनरेशन क्यों उसको बॉलीवुड बुलाती है? साउथ इंडस्ट्री को साउथ इंडस्ट्री बोलोगे, हमारी इंडस्ट्री को क्यों बॉलीवुड? You should also, in your generation, educate the people that the respectful word is the Indian film industry, the Hindi film industry, the Telugu film industry, or you call it that. हम तो regional भी नहीं बोलते हैं, because I feel even regional is kind of bifurcating them into a certain section.
Yeah.
No, they are great industries.
No, but then correct? I'm glad that you have updated it for me as well, and hopefully I'll take this forward to the rest of the masses, and I'll try and update others as well, because to me, I never thought of it as a derogatory term. For me, it was an industry, Bollywood, yes, people, because this is what we've been hearing, we've been grown up.
Coin करके दिमाग में डाल दिया है. So yeah, as much as I can, I try to educate people that it is actually a copycat word. We are not a copycat industry. We also have some great original stuff that we make. So.
I'll be probably using this beautiful insight from here on. But having said that,
sorry, आपको अपना समझ बोला है, please don't mind it, because you're based in front. So I'm just telling you kids that you kids should start calling it, what it is meant to be.
Not at all, totally. And I'm surely respectfully going to take this forward. But having said that, so you have ruled Hindi film industry and you have worked in South Indian film industry as well. Do you see any sort of difference in parameters in the working process? Is there something, or is it same? Craft is craft, because I believe ultimately a movie set has to be the same. But is there difference in process perhaps?
There's no difference in craft, because we have geniuses down south as well, and we have geniuses here. We have We have beautiful cultures which are amalgamated all over the country now. And if you see, yes, probably in the 90s, I could say that the Mumbai film industry was a little more relaxed, little more casual, little more laid back. Maybe actors would not be coming on time. They were not as professional. And at that time when I used to shoot in the South, I used to see the difference. In the South, they were so hardworking, so professional. Time to time, it's like you could literally, if the heroes were called at 9 o'clock, it's not that they're coming at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. They would probably come in at 8:30 and start getting ready for a 9 o'clock shoot. So it was a very, very different system, which I'm glad that now it's not like that anymore in our industry as well. Even the Hindi film industry today is become really professional and very hardworking. Not that we were not hardworking earlier. It's just that there was a little casualness about the professionalism. But now, I think it's a totalitarian norm that it's a way of functioning, and everyone has started functioning exactly the same way.
That's interesting. Also, it's been nearly 3 beautiful decades now. If we look back at the journey today, and if I ask you to sort of recall how it all started, and perhaps what made you the Raveena Tandon that you are today. Do you remember your struggle days, or perhaps your very first audition?
Okay, so I never gave auditions. I never wanted to get into the film industry. I kept getting offers. I was actually working as an assistant with Prahlad Kakkar for an advertising agency, and I kept getting offers, and eventually one day I just said yes, and the next day I was shooting for Patthar Ke Phool without any training, just did one photo session with Sheena Sippi, and the next day I was shooting. No training, no acting training, no dance lessons, nothing. And I think I evolved along the way. I learned along the way. No acting classes, no dancing classes, no training whatsoever. So the training for me, the learning for me was my shooting every day. Every day a new lesson learned, a new angle learned, a new lens learned, that what is wide lens, what is zoom, what is 75, what is 50, what is 45. So it was a learning process for me in all these years, even though I come from a film family. Yes, I had many ups and downs, many professional, many personal ups and downs. And but you have to rise above that all.
Also, if we circle back to the most iconic times and recall the time while you were shooting Mohra, or the most iconic song for that matter, Tip Tip Barsa Pani, perhaps as far as I consider it, looking back at that time, it was one of the most sensuous songs of that time and age, and still iconic, yes, but seemed like a path-breaking song for that time. So did you had any sort of apprehensions at that time, considering the situation and the time at that particular point of time? B, did you ever imagine that sort of magnum response that it watched?
Honestly, at that time the biggest hit was Tu Cheez Badi Hai Mast Mast. And I think the Barsa Pani little later with the kind of response got. And in fact, throughout when I was shooting for that film, it was such cold water because we were shooting on this controlled set, and it was supposed to be a construction site, and I was shooting bare feet, so there were these little nails, and I was bruised on my knees because I was wearing a sari on my knees, and there were stones and everything, and because I was wearing a sari, I could not even wear knee pads or anything that would prevent. So yeah, I was all bruised in that song. I was not well. The next day I got fever also. I remember, getting drinking adrak ka juice, garam juice, and haldi constantly for warmth. But then that is one memory that comes so clearly with me with Tip Tip Barsa Pani, and that's why I feel that when you do something with dedication and sincerity, and that time you're not well but you're pushing yourself to do, ultimately it kind of there is some reward that you get for that kind of work that you kind of put in. Yeah, so I think that is one memory that I have very strongly.
Also, a lot of comparisons people keep drawing because all your cult songs have been remade. I mean, most of them. Like recently also with Suryavanshi and Tip Tip Barsa. So although having said that, we know for a fact that you love it and you are happy about the remake. So we have grown up watching these songs. So how do you feel when you see it again on screen, or how do you feel, a replicated version of it?
Honestly, some of the songs I've seen them on screen, but mostly I've heard all the remixes. And like I said, I've loved them. I think they give a new life to the songs. They give it a new beat. It's played at every party whenever I go out. It becomes like a Raveena music song fest night, because then there's Sheher Ki Ladki, then there's Tu Cheez, then there is, Akhiyon Se Goli Mare, then there is Tip Tip Barsa Pani, and every time I'm dragged onto the floor. So it becomes like, my husband looks at me and says, Meri maa abhi bahut ho gaya, chal abhi. I can't dance to your songs now all the time. So it's something that is very, very, it makes me feel happy. I'm happy about it. And yes, everyone's, everyone has their own opinion, and they are respectfully, everyone has their own take on what they want to say about what they feel. So I really cannot influence that perception of theirs. To each his own. But I personally loved all the remixes. Like I said, it gives it a new life. It gives it a new beat. The generations now again relive the song completely. And like I said, I end up owning them.
Personally, old is gold, and it's just magic. Whenever we see you doing it, it's magical. And Akhiyon Se Goli Mare, Sheher Ki Ladki, we have grown up grooving to those dances. Even now, if we played at a party, like you just said, you will just end up dancing. And how? So I don't know, I've always seen people, again, because maybe time and age was such that, heroes were always credited. But I really wanted to say this all my life, that thank you for giving us those kind of songs, because Akhiyon Se Goli Mare is not just Govinda ji, it is you. And similarly, so is Sheher Ki Ladki, so is Tip Tip Barsa Pani. I really have to say this, that this wouldn't have happened without you. So thank you as well.
How sweet, Minnie. You're really sweet and really kind. Thank you so much, Bacha. Take care.
Thank you
for giving such precious time of yours for this interview. And it was a beautiful interview.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself as well. And before you leave, quickly, if you could tell me, if one very fun question, if ever we were to see a sequel of your own movie, किसका आप चाहेंगे कि बनना चाहिए?
I think it could be, it should be Satta. And I think it should also be, it should definitely, Andaz Apna Apna everyone's waiting for, but I don't know how that will be made. But
that is a remake. We would want a sequel, perhaps. We want to see you in it.
I think a Satta would be a great remake, but would not be comedy, it would be serious. So yeah, that would be not a sequel, yes.
Yeah. But that's great. I think if anybody is listening, all the directors and producers, here's your cue. But thank you so much for joining us today. This was lovely. I really had lots of fun talking to you.
Thank you, Minnie. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
All the best.